Brexiteer bin Habib has lashed out at the EU after an official called for Britain to respect its sovereignty in a shameless reversal of Brexit rhetoric. This week, the EU's ambassador to the UK, João Vale de Almeida, ordered the US and UK to respect its autonomy over a new investment deal with China, despite Brussels constricting UK policy for decades. After the failure of the EU to respect the UK as an independent sovereign state throughout Brexit talks, the former MEP labelled the ambassador's position as outrageous. He told Express, "That is utterly outrageous. What an arrogant, misplaced thing to say. The EU tramples all over any idea of sovereignty. I saw a couple of weeks ago Ms. von der Leyen called on the collective sovereignty of member states. They don't recognize any country's sovereignty." This week, during an interview with conservative think tank, Bright Blue, Mr. Vale de Almeida told Britain not to interfere in the EU-China investment deal. The deal, agreed last month, has come under scrutiny for the lack of workers' rights provisions and the high threshold for what qualifies as state aid. Both areas were key negotiating points during Brexit talks, with Brussels demanding the UK maintain a level playing field on the two. The EU ambassador said, "The US, UK, and EU need to respect the autonomy of each of the players. There should be no problem if one country takes an initiative on its own. What is important is to have a dialogue on our way in which we deal with partners such as China. We shouldn't ask this investment agreement to address all the issues that we have with China. The UK will now follow close alignment in certain areas with the EU as a result of the Trade and Cooperation Agreement. In terms of the UK and EU, both sides have agreed to not lower labour or social standards and have included provisions to take action against either side if an unfair advantage has been created. In contrast, there are no strict provisions for China to adhere to labour standards, although it has stated it will follow the agreement. Some commentators have expressed concern the Chinese government may ignore any provisions despite the intense scrutiny over forced labor in Xinjiang. In a draft text seen by Politico, public support below 450,000 special drawing rights over 3 years will not be regarded as state subsidies. In the EU-UK trade deal, it states anything above 325,000 will be classed as state aid, and if this is violated, there is scope for tariffs to be imposed.